Salutations, dear audience. Prepare to be inspired and empowered as we delve into the realm of business triumph and elevate your business. I'm Ed Jarecki, your host for today's enlightening episode. Thank you for being a part of this enriching experience. Our show is dedicated to enlightening and equipping business owners, professionals, and aspiring entrepreneurs like you with essential knowledge and insights from experts who have achieved success in their life and business. Today's guest exemplifies this mission. So make yourself comfortable, unwind, and let's extend a hearty greeting to our incredible guest today, Christina Kalfaian. Christina is a founder and CEO of Papa's Kitchen. From her father's incredible journey, Christina is taking his legacy to the next level. Join me to hear her story from her father's immigration from Greece to establishing an incredibly successful restaurant to the work Christina has done to productize and extend his legacy across Michigan and ultimately the United States. As Christina joins us on the show, she'll shed light on what success means to her personally and how her definition has evolved over time, as well as one or two of her top challenges and the associated lessons learned. And finally, we'll explore how Christina has leveraged innovation in her business and other work to overcome challenges and achieve her goals. So join me in welcoming Christina Kalfaian as we embark on another incredible episode of Elevate Your Business. Without further ado, welcome to the show, Christina. It's great to see you again. How are you doing?
Doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate you being here. It is my honor. You have a wonderful story to share. So to start, can you share a little bit more about yourself, your journey in your business?
Yes. So I am the owner of Papa's Kitchen, dressings and marinades. My father had actually came over here at the age of 12 years old and opened up his first restaurant at the age of 17. And here in Metro Detroit, we have a staple dressing called the Pink Greek. And this is a dressing that my father was the original creator of back in the early 70s. So as he went on his own journey of restaurateurs, he retired about 15 years ago. And then I decided to take his signature dressing and bottle it.
Outstanding. And so from there, you actually have some pretty significant plans on growing the distribution of that product. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely. So not only do we just carry the one product, we carry three others, and I'm now going to be launching a fifth dressing at the end of April. We are located in over 120 retail locations throughout Michigan, and we just entered Ohio. And even in bigger news, I have picked up a national distributor.
Outstanding. That is
Thank
outstanding.
you.
Now,
Thank you. Thank you.
when I was prepping for this, your products, are they all gluten-free?
They are.
That seems to be one of the real solid characteristics. And I know for myself, my son, it's something that we look for because we try to gluten and upsets our stomach. So it's an incredible product. And my understanding is it's just absolutely incredible.
Yes. And so as you get to learn my own personal journey, you'll understand the big importance of having, cleaner products in our dressings and what really drove me to make sure that each of them were gluten-free. They were low sodium. Some of our products have zero sugar. They're made with all olive oil. I wanted to also make sure that there was low carb. So we're making them very healthy for the consumers to enjoy, and doctors absolutely love us for that.
But incredibly rich in taste, as I understand as well.
They are phenomenal.
Yeah. And once the distribution makes it to where we're at, I'm going to have to try some of that.
Don't worry, I will have a package sent out to you after the call.
Oh, I appreciate that very much. So,
Absolutely.
so you've had an incredible, your father, incredible success, came over as an immigrant, built his restaurant, as I remember, around $3 million a year in revenue. And then you kind of took it over from there. And so when you look at that journey and you define success today, how do you define it?
Oh, the definition of success to me is probably different than others. My success is just being here today. I have a very rare congenital disease that I was born with that we didn't find out about until later years. And so I've had over 9 surgeries in less than 8 years. So success just being here, it takes it for me. But that's in my personal life. If we're talking about success in my business life, taking the idea from my hospital bed and seeing it through from development to manufacturing to distribution. I mean, just being able to say that I own a salad dressing company is success for me. Everything else doesn't.
So when you look back, 20 years ago or so, how has your definition of success changed over that time?
Ooh, now that's something. I think just being here, because like I said, we didn't know about my disease until later on in life. And knowing that I went from education to now entrepreneur and just changing throughout that journey, just the growth of the success that I've had defines success to me.
And so through that journey, you've already mentioned one or two challenges. What are one or two key challenges and the lessons learned that you'd like to share with our audience?
Getting the recipes from my father is the biggest challenge because we come from a Greek family. So everything is a pinch of this, a dash of that. Nothing is ever measured out. So when I stood in the kitchen with my father and I sat there and said, Dad, give me the recipe to your dressing, he's like, well, you just put a little pinch of this and you put a dash in here. And then the next day I come over and say, all right, Dad, I really got to nail this down. Let's do this again. Walk me through it again. Let's do. This time his pinch was different than yesterday's pinch. His dash was smaller than yesterday's dash. So the biggest challenge in this business for myself was getting these recipes. And I figured out a way that I could measure his pinches and his dashes to make us the success that we are now.
That means a lot of observation and measurements.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes he would, I don't know if he would forget or it just didn't call for it that day, but sometimes there would be no salt. Sometimes there would be salt. Sometimes there's no sugar. Sometimes and at the end of the day, the product always still tastes the same.
Isn't that the artistry associated with it? I mean,
That
there's
is.
some wonderful artisans out there, but many of them probably couldn't define, well, I do this step, this step, this step.
Yeah. There's 20 different recipes to one dressing that tastes the same every single time.
Any other key challenges and lessons learned that you'd like to share?
Oh, the other challenges was just not knowing what was going to come of this. Was I making the right decision? Am I making the right decision? Was always the biggest question because I keep going back to being hospitalized, right? So as I laid in my hospital bed, I was a realtor at that point. Who's paying our bills? My husband is also automotive and in the engineering world. So he had to take his time off from work to be at the hospital with me. So the biggest challenge was how are we going to pay our bills at the end of the day? And just the trust in knowing that whatever I put my heart and mind to will be fulfilled. That was the biggest challenge, was getting over that ego, right? So now that I've overcame that, we've overcome the hospitals, we've overcome the dressings, the manufacturing, the bottling, all new challenges ahead of us, I think are going to be pretty easy compared to what I've gone through.
So there's a perseverance component to that, it sounds like.
Absolutely.
Never let it go, stay the course, overcome what else other obstacles come into your way.
And that's the biggest key that I tell any entrepreneur out there is trust your gut. Go with your gut instinct. If you think you have a product that's worthwhile, do it. And at some point when you get discouraged, don't listen to those voices, whether they're your own voices or the voices that we love. Just keep pushing through.
There's something else that I've gathered from you through our conversations, and that's the passion.
Yeah.
You have passion for your father, your family, his business, who you are, where you come from, and where you're going with it. And that passion really is an incredibly important part of a successful journey.
Yeah.
That a fair way to say that?
You have to love what you do. And each day to me is a blessing. So I could have the worst day of my entire life and you will still see me walk around with a smile on my face.
That's incredible. My wife can do that. Me, I'll go hide or take a walk for a little bit.
Don't get me wrong. There might be a bottle of wine somewhere in the corner, Joe. Like a glass.
Oh, yep, I get that 100%. And so innovation, how has innovation enabled you to get to this point in your business?
So Papa is innovative. I mean, you got to remember that he was 17 years old. Think about yourself at 17. Would you open up a restaurant at 17 years old? I mean, I know I was a soccer player, so I was worried about, what team am I playing? At that point. But for Papa at 17, he was already in the kitchen being innovative, making up his own recipes, not being able to speak very little English, to creating a staple dressing in Michigan that is now our differentiator throughout this entire market. So Papa's Kitchen in itself is innovative. And with all of these social medias and stuff like that, it just keeps driving and pushing us to continue being ahead of the game.
And so when you think about the future and innovation, it's been part of your core, starting with your father. Your whole business continues to innovate. You just indicated a little bit ago that you've got a fifth new product coming out as part of your line. Definitely innovation. So where do you see it taking you?
Oh, where do I see Papa's Kitchen taking me? I have a running joke that in Michigan, we're known for our Coney Islands. So our dressings, and this is big, right? So my dressings will be as big and popular as the Detroit Coney Island.
Okay.
So keep an eye
Outstanding.
out for us.
You've
Big
got your
words,
goals
I
in mind.
know.
No, that's outstanding. And I think it will resonate with great taste, gluten-free, healthy choice. That is a combination that I think a lot of us are looking for. And it's really hard to find. And when you do find it, it can be very pricey. So
Absolutely.
so go ahead.
But the great thing about Papa's Kitchen is they're not just dressings. Our tagline is you turn an ordinary meal into extraordinary. And I literally marinate
There you
everything
go. Yeah.
in our dressings. So not only am I using it on my salads, but I'll take our creamy dill, which is low cal, only 80 calories per 2¼ tablespoons. And I honestly dip my potato chips in it, or we'll make salmon sliders and put it on our salmon sliders. Or the pink Greek, I marinate our chicken. The harvest, we glaze our salmon with it, or I do Brussels sprouts in the oven, roasting them. Each dressing has such a powerful flavor that allows us endless culinary opportunities.
Yeah. So with that, do you have plans to introduce a cookbook to go along with your products?
I'm slowly working on that. We do have over 25 different recipes on our website, but I have little recipe cards that we give out to the consumers, and there's a cookbook in mind, and there's other ideas down the pipeline for Papa's Kitchen.
Outstanding. Well, it just made sense since you've got all these additional, and I agree. I think that a good dressing is a wonderful marinade. I am not a chef by any stretch. You'd be embarrassed to have me around because the microwave is my best friend.
See, I don't even own a microwave. Well,
I can
let me
imagine.
let me back up a little bit. I own a microwave. It's just not a functioning microwave. It hasn't been functioning since we moved into our house 7 years ago.
Well, I can very much appreciate that because if there was one thing that I could do, it's always eat healthy. And when eat a lot out of a microwave, that's not easily done.
Yeah.
Final takeaway for our audience. What would be the one lessons learned as an entrepreneur, a successful business owner, a growing business owner? What would you offer our audience as a takeaway that they must consider as part of their journey?
As I said earlier, I always tell people trust your gut, right? But don't be afraid. There's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be someone telling you not to do it. Just go with that gut. Do what you are passionate about and just see it through and through with all your full might. Excuse my French, but don't half-ass it.
Yeah, so passion and perseverance. Remove,
Absolutely.
remove the obstacles as they come out of around them, over them, under them, and if you have
Whatever you got to do.
to. I want to thank you all for joining us today, and a special thank you to our guest, Christina Kalfaian. for sharing your insights, experiences, and success tactics with us. We hope this conversation has left you inspired and motivated to embrace the challenges of entrepreneurship with vigor, innovation, and adaptability. Remember, success comes in many forms, and it's essential to define it for yourself. Take the lessons shared by Christina to heart as you navigate your own entrepreneurial journey. Embrace change, seek out opportunities for growth, and always be willing to adapt to the ever-evolving landscape of business. Thank you once again to our phenomenal guest speaker, Christina Kalfaian, and thank you all for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next time as we continue exploring the stories behind incredible entrepreneurs. Stay resilient and stay innovative, everyone. Have a great week. Bye-bye.